Dangal greetings. I'm Criselle Enraca from 1ITA, and today we will present our system entitled Cafe Ordering System, which we developed using Java Swing and Java programming. The purpose of this system is to simulate a simple cafe ordering interface where users can select food and beverage items, enter their desired quantities, and generate a receipt within the application window. The system interface was created using Java Swing drag-and-drop components, allowing us to visually design and organize the layout of the ordering system. Our program is divided into several menu categories including coffee, non-coffee drinks, pastries, desserts, and optional add-ons. Each item in the menu includes a checkbox for selecting the item and a text field for entering the quantity. On the right side of the interface, the system displays the order receipt area, where the selected items and the computed total will appear. The system also contains three main buttons, which are Compute Total, Clear Order, and Place Order. These buttons control the main ordering process of the system. Now for the explanation of our interface layout and menu categories, let's hear it from Zosaine Manaig.
Greetings everyone, my name is Zosaine Manaig, and today I'm going to give you a tour to our cafe ordering system interface. So as you can see here, we have the left side and the right side. In the left side, we have the menu categories, which we split into 5J panels containing different categories of our menu. We have here the coffee. Inside this J panel, we have the J label indicating the price, another J label indicating the item name, a J checkbox, and the text field. So in this text field, users are able to place the amount or the quantity of the espresso they wanted to buy. So in our coffee section, we have espresso, americano, cappuccino, mocha, caramel macchiato. In the non-coffee, we have hot chocolate, lemonade, fresh milk, matcha latte, and strawberry milk. In the pastries, we have croissant, chocolate croissant, blueberry muffin, banana bread, and cinnamon roll. For desserts, we have cheesecake, chocolate cake, brownies, donuts, ice cream, and for the add-ons, we have extra shot, extra syrup, whipped cream, extra ice, and large size. So the same things that you can find in this J panel can also be found in the other four J panels, which is the price, the item name, the checkbox, whether you want to order this item or not, or the text field, which the users can put the item quantity. So now we're going to move on to the right side of our interface. We have the order receipt. In this text area, the users can see their total, which when we click something in here, when we add the espresso, we're going to compute the total. You can find it here. And the three buttons, which is the kind of the brain of our interface. This one computes the total, this one clears the order or resets the order, and this one places the order, which confirms that this is what the user wants to order. So there you go. Now we're going to move on to the discount radio button group. So here we have the no discount, which is set to true. This is the default setting of our discount radio button group. We can set it to the student, which gives us a 10% discount, or the senior, which gives us 20%. And lastly, the welcome message that we can find in our interface. So that's it. We're going to move on to the back end area of our system, which will be first explained by David Brillantes.
Hello, I am Jhan Brillantes, and I'm here to explain the start of our code. So this is our code, and we firstly added Java Swing border, Java out, and Java out event. We named it Joel, extend for JFrame. Well, it's just named Joel because the file name is Joel. Anyway, we made the item names to the array to make it easier, make it more readable. This contains the coffee, pastries, non-coffees, desserts, and add-ons. And we also made a 2D array for item prices, and as well as a 1D array for category labels. And we made a 2D array for the all checks buttons, which is 5 times 5, so means it's 25, as well in the JText field name all quantity, which is 5 times 5 also. We have added the button compute total, button clear order, button place order, and a JText area for order text area. For receipt rather, and radio button for non-students or seniors. This is for discounts, and a button group for the radio buttons, which is named discount group. Then we have added a public method, which is named Joel again. We have set title to cafe ordering system, added a J panel, which content panel equals new panel, and set content pane, set background, set border, and set layout, and set content pane to content pane. Anyways, the menu categories header, we have added a menu header, label menu named menu categories, set foreground, set font, set bounds, and we added the menu header to the content pane, as well as this in this line. This both right here is just for design, so we don't need to elaborate. And this is the coffee panel. So we have added a J panel for the coffee panel. We have set border, set background, set bound, set layout, and added the coffee panel to the content pane. We have named it coffee by using J label, and set font and set bounds, and added also the coffee panel. Then we also added a line for design, and this is the functioning code of the anyway. Not totally say functioning, it's just for alignment rather. So for int I equals to 5, which is the if I equals, which is ibig sabihin 5 po yung coffee natin. So this is the Y para po mag-alignment, J label, price label, the item price, set bounds, and added to the coffee panel. All checks I equals new checkbox, all quantity 0, new check J text field, all quantity 0 set editable to false. Why we set it to false? Because we want the user to check the box first before they enter a number, quantity rather. So this is our another which is I equals to 4. If it turns to if it's loops to the mocha, then when it's the caramel macchiato's turn, it makes a new line because it's too long. So we have added another line for caramel macchiato for easier to see. Anyways, just that we set new font, set bounds, added coffee panel that add all checks set bounds, and all quantity set bounds. Else it is name J label, name items, and name, set font, set found, coffee panel that add, and all checks and all quantities, the same rather. Then coffee panel that add all checks, coffee panel that add all quantity. So we have the pastries panel. It works as the same as right here in the coffee panel. So we're just gonna explain it really fast. So we added a panel, we set the border, we set the background, we set the bound, we set the layout, and we added it to the content pane. Also, we have named it pastries, and we have added a line for design. So this is how the 5, which means that we have 5 pastries to choose from. The Y, the label, price label, the price item number. Set bounds and added to pastries panel, and just that. Add all checks, checkbox, all check chata. I'm gonna give it to Mr. Miraples now. Thank you very much.
Greetings, Mausay. So, let me introduce to you the J panel ng non-coffee panel. So, sa part na to, dito makikita yung mga non-coffee drinks. This is yung hot chocolate, lemonade, fresh, matcha latte, strawberry milk. Kasama na rin dito yung mga price and button, checkbox, tsaka text fields. So, naka-declare dito yung mga J label na LBL ng coffee, which is ito. Tapos, may in-hardcode tong part na to, which is in my basements. While dito sa for loop na line 152, makikita rito yung part na ito. May P plus item prices is yung array niya po. And 0.00 para makita yung mismong price ng product. Tapos yung name naman, siyempre yung name ng product, yung hot chocolate, lemonade, yun. Tapos, kapag ina-adjust to, kapag pinalitan yung mga yan, mapapalitan din po yung mismong design ng isang part ng panel. Kaya yung purpose ng isang panel para hindi na kailangan ni mano-mano i-adjust. And dito sa all quantity and ito yung sa may quantity. As all checks, yung checkbox po. Same thing with this dessert panel. Naka-declare din muna po yung part ng day panel na paglalagyan ng mga items. So sa dessert panel, makikita naman natin dito yung cheesecake, chocolate cake, brownies, donut, ice cream. So ganun din, naka-declare din yung prices with array names, 0.00. Tapos may price, may name ng item with their own fonts and placements. Sa placements, ayan po yung purpose din nun, yung for loop, para sabay-sabay na silang ma-address. Hindi na kailangan i-manually masyado. So, may quantity rin, may checkbox. So, sa adds-on panel, makikita naman po dito yung extra shot, extra syrup, whipped cream, extra ice, large size. So, same thing with the earlier two sa part. May J panel din na mag-hold sa adds-on panel. So, sa loop din, naka-for din po siya ulit. Sama yung P plus item prices na may array name. Array index pala, I mean, 0.00. Tapos dito, the names, fonts, and same lang yung process sa mga nauna. So, sa order receipt naman po tayo, which is itong part na to. Yung malaking order receipt, yung place sa kanan. So, sa order receipt, po ng day label order receipt, new day label, order receipt, and yun sa taas po. Tapos, may fonts siya, and set bounds, yung placements niya. Also the size. So, sa J-scroll panel, J-scroll pane, and po yung purpose na kapag sobra-sobra po yung nakalagay dyan na text, pwede ka mag-scroll. And, yun. Ano po siya? Text area. Set editable false para hindi po maapalitan user yung mga nakalagay dito. Kumbaga, yan dyan lang yung makikita yung mga nag-print na pinagbibili ni user. Example po nun yung mga chocolate, ano.
Greetings, I'm back, and I'm here to explain the buttons as well as their functionalities all the way to the end. So for you to also visualize what I'm talking about, I'm going to pull up our interface. Boom. Now, in the right side, as I've explained earlier, we can find the order receipt. This is where your receipt is going to pop up, and the compute total, clear order, and the place order. This is the section of the code where we had declared those three buttons. So this is the foreground color, the background color of the button, which is white, the foreground, which is when you hover to the button and you can see different color, and then the location where you can find the said button. So it's right here, the compute total, which is set to 550 405 119 40. So that's where you can find it. And the same can be said with the other buttons, such as a clear order and a place order. For the horizontal discount panel, which is also located at the bottom of the order receipt, you can find the no discount, which is set to true. Why? What is this for? Well, when you start the program, I'm going to start it again. You can see that the default setting for these three radio button group is at the no discount. So that is the default setting. That's why it's set to true. So you can set it to anything else, but whenever the user tries to run the program, it was always going to be set at the no discount. That's the default setting. So this is the modifications that we've set on the said radio buttons. Now we're going to move to the decorative lines. That's the lines that you're going to see here. The font, the locations, you know how it goes. So now the welcome labels. At the welcome labels, you can see it here. Welcome to Cafe Amor. That's kind of like our tagline for this mini application. So you can tell that it is dark gray. The font is different, and the location where the welcome message is set. So it's right here. The same thing can be said at the Cafe Amor. Now for the checkbox listener, this is where our function starts So as you can see here, there's a for loop, and this one checks if this whole snippet of code basically checks whether or not these are ticked or unticked. So if you can see here, if the checkbox is checked, you can type the quantity. So that's true. I can type whatever quantity I want, and then when it's not checked, you're gonna clear the number. So let's put 1 there. If I check it, the number disappears. So this code snippet works. Now in the compute total, which is found here, we have declared the total sum, and the boolean has items equals false. So this is a flag to check if anything was actually ordered. So we're going to append this. So let me just check a couple of items so I can demonstrate it properly. So 1, then another cheesecake, 1, and then 2 extra whip. So compute total. That's what's going to show up the item, the quantity, and the price, which is appended at the end of this. So this is the if else functionality where this line only checks only process checked items. So this is the error handling. So we're going to convert the text to numbers. Since this is a text field, everything that goes in here is automatically a string. So this string 1 is going to be converted into int 1 so it can be calculated here, which is the quantity, the number that we placed here, times the item prices. So we're going to replace the value of the subtotal to the line total. This line validates the order. So if it has items, it's going to pop up as true. So in the catch, this is where the this section catches the error. It triggers if the quantity is a blank or not a number. So let's see here, copy total, enter quantity for espresso. So it's not going to compute anything unless the empty text fields have any quantity. That's the same thing for the cheesecake. As you can see here, enter quantity for item names. This represents the text field that has been left empty. So as I've demonstrated earlier, it says enter quantity for cheesecake. So that also works. If no items are selected, and when you compute the total, when you click the compute total and there's no items checked, it's going to show a J option error message which says no items are selected. So this is where the discount application is. So as I've explained earlier, the discount application is right here, and the default setting is set to no discount. So when we change that, it's going to reflect on the order receipt. So the subtotal, which is the total that we have calculated here, is going to be multiplied by the rate, which is the 0.10%, 0.10 or 0.20 depending on the type of the discount the user has. So this one appends the total to the receipt string. Sorry. Now we're gonna move on to the clear order. So this one, the whole functionality of this snippet of code basically just clears the order. So as you can see here, this is the confirmation J option pane that's going to show up if you ever decide to clear out the items. So let's fill up these boxes again. Compute total. Now, as you can see, I've selected the student discount, which deducted 30 pesos from my total due. Now, if we're going to clear the order, we're going to receive the same error message as we've seen here. So if we select yes, obviously the order receipt is going to be cleared. So as you can see here, the set selected is also equals to false. So as you can see, everything that you have selected here has also been cleared. So like I said, this button also resets your transaction. I found the right word. This clears out the text that you've seen here earlier, and the set editable for these text fields are also been set to false. So now we're going to place our order. We're going to start with the error handling. So we're going to show an error message when order hasn't been computed yet. So again, For as an example, let's select espresso cheesecake with cream, set that quantity to 1, and then when we try to place our order, since the order hasn't been computed yet, it's gonna show a error message as we've seen here. So please compute the total first. Now, once the user has successfully computed the total, and when we click the place order, we're gonna get a confirmation message just in case the user accidentally clicks the place order and say, "Oh, I forgot. I wanted to order a caramel macchiato." So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna edit this and I'm gonna add 1. Then I'm gonna confirm again. So this is just a confirmation message, just to make sure that the user has everything they have on this order receipt. So once user selects yes, this is going to appear. This is going to append on this section of the order receipt. So let's compute the total again. Since I forgot that I wanted the caramel macchiato, I'm going to place my order, say yes, and boom, this is going to appear. Since this is a J option page, you can find the same things that we have appended on this section. So order placed. Thank you for visiting Cafe Amor. Now that's done. Now that's done. Now that we have placed our order, this is our final receipt. We are not able to place another order or compute the total because that breaks the system. We can only click clear order to make another transaction. So it's going to set another J option pane just in case that you haven't read through all of this receipt yet. Because receipts are important for a refund. I don't know if you can refund this, but it's important to us. So when we clear our order, everything's going to be reset and you can add another order for the next transaction. That's it. That basically sums up our interface. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to move on to Rainzell, Espaldon to sum everything up.
Dangal greetings everyone, I am Rainzell Andrei Espaldon and I'll be explaining the additional control features of our system, aside from computing the total. The clear order button allows the user to reset the system by unchecking all selected menu items, clearing all quantity text fields, clearing the receipt display in the JText area, and resetting all computed values. So resetting all computed values allows the user to easily start a new order. The place order button finalizes the transaction. Once the order is placed, the completed receipt remains displayed in the JText area, showing the final summary of the order. The selected item names, quantity ordered, subtotal per item, subtotal amount, discount applied, and the final total. So for the future improvements naman, the system can also include additional features such as displaying the current date and time, adding a cash payment input field, computing the change for the customer. So in conclusion, our cafe ordering system demonstrates how Java Swing can be used to design an interactive graphical ordering interface. So the project combines multiple Java Swing components with event handling, input validation, and receipt generation to simulate a simple cafe ordering system. And that's all for our mini video, and I hope you learned something tonight, and thank you for watching.